Coming up, a car powered by the roar of thousands of lions, uncooperative manual gearbox.
It will not budge.
The rod bearings have evolved. They are communicating now.
The f is that? Hello, Mutzi. Look at my face. This is what disappointment looks like. Anyway, the kingdom of broken BMWs is living up to its reputation. We have a V8 and a V10 down. This is my 2000 E39 M5. I've had this car for about 6 years now, and I put around 40 to 50,000 kilometers on it. It never gave me a single issue. Not even a check engine light, nothing. Always worked perfect. Ryan from E39 Source and his buddy Luke came to Germany, and I told them, you have to take this car, you have to experience the M5 on the Autobahn. And they did. They had a lovely week with this car, and 2 days before they were supposed to return to Frankfurt, the transmission decided not to transmission anymore. Absolutely nothing they did. The gearbox worked perfectly fine up until it didn't. They parked the car, and now it's stuck in second gear. It won't come out, won't budge at all. The clutch is still working perfectly fine, but the transmission is messed up. And this, well, this is Project Raliegh, and you all know about it because it has over 9 million views across the entire project series. My 2007 E60 M5 with the glorious 6-speed manual transmission. This as well never gave me any major issues. I did have some check engine lights with it, but it always brought me back home. It's only slightly broken. The power steering pump is making quite a lot of noise, so we need to address that. Other than that, just need to switch to winter tires and then we're good to go. I think we're gonna start with this because I need to drive to Munich in a couple of days and I need a fast car, and this should be easier to fix, at least on paper, and then we're gonna switch over to the E39. Mutzi, ¿qué pasa, amiga? Come, come. Yes. And this is Mutzi, my tiger. Instead of being home on Sunday, all nice, warm and cozy, we're here in cold, fixing broken junk. But someone has to do it, Mutzi. And I like doing it. Okay, Mutzi, trabajo. Hop in. Mutzi likes Project Raliegh. Mutzi, that's where I sit. See, works fine. And also, power steering pump, I think it's power steering pump. Hear that? It's making chirping sounds. What the is that? That is unacceptable, Mutzi. This is what it sounds like. Might be a bit difficult to capture in camera, but it ain't good. Oh, and I also have a treat for Project Raliegh once we finish replacing the PS pump. Put this on the side for now. Now I need to get the fan out. Now I need to plug it. And now it can come out. Okay, now I'm gonna get both of the belts out. The belt is still in good condition. And I want to replace the pulleys. That one is good. That one is shot. So let me get them out. There we go. So this one is bad. This one is good. And SK, I replaced this one when I did the rod bearings, and I think this one I didn't replace because it was good at that point. Second belt. What about that pulley? Shot as well. AC pulley is bad as well. Come back to that in a bit. Need to remove the engine under tray. This stain here, not an oil leak. It's simply from changing the oil. This under tray, it's made from some fiber, plastic, whatever, and it's absorbing oil, and I can never get rid of this ugly stain. But it's not leaking oil. The impossible. Another BMW without oil leaks. It's like beer without foam. It just doesn't feel right, but that's what we have. And this here, also not an oil leak. I sprayed rust loser on the power steering pump pulley because it looks a bit rusty. Gonna remove this pulley tensioner here. We're replacing that as part of preventive maintenance. So we'll need to address the AC compressor pulley as well. Now I'm going to disconnect the line that goes to the power steering pump. Green hydraulic fluid. Gonna remove the pulley. Oh, this pulley's metal, man. But it is stuck on. It's a bit more rust loser. Yeah, gonna have to replace the pulley. Thankfully, I already knew that, and I placed an order for a new one, because when it's rusty like this, you simply cannot remove it without destroying it. I think it'll be easier if I pry the pulley off from underneath. For now, we need to disconnect this line here. Oh, there we go. A metal pulley. This one came off. Oh. Still bending it, but it won't come out. Oh, I think. There it is. This pulley is now ruined, not reusable. 3 13mm bolts and the pump is gonna come out. Should be able to pull it out now. This power steering pump has been giving me issues pretty much since the day I bought the car. If you remember in part 2, I had trouble bleeding the system, and then when maneuvering in parking lots at slow speed, the steering wheel will like kind of chop, like be laggy, and of course the chirping noise, and now it's that whining noise. So hopefully all of that will be solved by this refurbished power steering pump by Bosch. The pump is made by ZF, but refurbished by Bosch apparently. I did buy a new line here, replace this one. Here's the new pulley, and now I'm going to use some anti-seize here so that the new pulley doesn't seize and rust here. And then I have to break that one too. Next time I need to remove the pump or service something. Like that. New pampillation going in. Yes, that'll be it. Clean Benja bolt and new crush washers. All right. And then a 10mm here. Don't want to see any oil leaks on this car. Ever. It must be clean. I think we had a combination of bad things here. I know that the power steering pump was bad. I listened to it with a stethoscope and it was making noise, but this AC pulley is also definitely bad and was certainly making some noise. So I got this special tool here to hold the pulley so we can remove it. Oh, I think it let go. It did. Very good. First, there is a snap ring here that we need to remove. The snap ring is full of mud and I can't get it out. Oh, wait. Yes. That's the snap ring out. Will you be so kind and come off? There it is. Now we have another snap ring here. So that's how short that bearing is. Oh, yes. Here is the old pulley. The bearing inside is completely shot. That was definitely making a lot of noise. So you have pulley mounted on the compressor, then this snap ring holds it to the compressor, and then you have this cover here, and then the snap ring holding that cover to the pulley. You could, in theory, just replace this bearing here. You can probably find it online if you measure it, and then you're good to go. I bought the whole thing because I wasn't sure about the dimensions of the bearing, and I needed to get the car back on the road ASAP because I'm leaving for Munich today. This was 60 euro on eBay, and it comes with his cover, pulley, and the snap rings. So let's pop it in, and this should fix our issue. Give this a bit of a clean. So here's the new pulley. Oh, it just slides on. Going to reuse the old clip because it's nicely designed. See? No more noise. So this is how this tool looks like. You have 3 prongs here, the lock here, the pulley in place, and then you can do up this bolt in the middle. And if you don't have this tool, you can simply use an oil filter strap to hold the pulley while you're messing around with this bolt. It's good. Now the snap ring. This was dead easy. Here are the 3 idler pulleys that this car has. The big one, this one is readily available as OE. You can buy it from Mina or whatever. This is the one that I replaced about 3 years ago with the pulley from Optimal, and the bearing inside, it's NSK from Poland. And I had a really good luck with these pulleys. They last a very long time. Here it is after 30,000 kilometers. It's still like brand new. There's nothing wrong with it, so I'm going to reuse it. These 2 pulleys have 2 different part numbers in the parts catalog, and they cost 142 euros each. Yep, you're looking at nearly 300 euros for 2 stupid pulleys. That's because BMW will not sell you just the pulley, but the entire thing with this metal arm here, which you don't need to replace because it's aluminum and it doesn't wear out. So I did the same thing I did with the S65. I measured the outer diameter, the inner diameter, the width, and went on size.name website. You can input those dimensions there, and it's going to give you 3 pages of pulleys in the same dimensions from different brands. Here's the OE one from INA. This was 10-11 euros. The only difference here is that it comes with this metal plate on the back, which you need to remove. You can Dremel the bolt off, and then you end up with the pulley that you need. And here's the one from Optimal. So this is the brand that I'm using for pulleys occasionally. I'm not gonna comment on the general quality of this brand. I don't use them for anything else other than for pulleys, because I know when I buy this pulley, I get NSK made in Poland bearings inside, and as I said, they're very good quality. And this was also around 10 euros. Exact same part, no difference whatsoever. Perfect match. The tensioners, the car has 2 tensioners, and they have 2 different part numbers. Physically, they look exactly the same, no difference whatsoever. The only difference is the part number on the outside. That's different, so something internally must be. And I couldn't find them as OE, so I had to buy original ones, and they're 100 euros each, which is quite expensive, but what can you do? Okay, I think you know what we need to do here. I'm gonna go remove the second tensioner. Here's the second tensioner. There we go. Vixen Surface Treatments Aquablast 1215 cabinet. Yes! Make it look mint. And there you have it. The new ones for 142 euros don't look this good. Brand new tensioner. Ready to put this back in. Brand new power steering pump pulley. Water pump pulley going back in. Finally, the idler pulleys. Okay, now we need to compress the new tensioners 3 times. 1, 3. 1, 3. Brand new belt. That's the belt installed. The bigger pulley. I'm also going to replace the power steering reservoir. It has an inbuilt filter, and I want to make sure that that's fresh for the new power steering pump. Jeez, come on. Hydraulic / power steering fluid. All right, let's start it and see how difficult it'll be to bleed the power steering system. Check the fluid level. It is still okay. Ah, it sounds awful. Stupid pump. It's just like the last time. A nightmare to bleed. Please stop it. I'm turning the steering wheel from left to right. Listen to that. Jesus Christ. I don't get it. What is your problem? Oh, there it is. Getting quieter. Now the fluid is clean. No more bubbles. Quite literally, 14 years later of turning the steering wheel from lock to lock and bleeding the system, the power steering pump is finally quiet. There you go. This is lock to lock and it's not making any noise. A tiny bit at full lock, but that's absolutely normal, and you should never hold the steering wheel at full lock. That really stresses out the pump. So when you hit the lock, move the steering wheel a bit backwards, and that's how you should maneuver the car in the parking lot. What we have here is Mutzi demonstrating how rod brings spin on S85 engine. Right, Mutzi? Right? Isn't that so? Isn't that so? Yeah, she does that with her bed. Forgot to bring the horse. Never gonna get anything done, Mutzi, because you're so cute. And finally, time to switch over to the winter wheels. The Zimmermann rotors still doing well. I'm about to switch to StopTech sport pads. Right now I have StopTech Street, which are so-so. Before that I had Hawk Performance something HPS, whatever. Those are good on the track, but I don't like them on the road. The brake pedal feel is just not nice. As you probably gathered by now, I do use this car in winter. I adore it. It's my favorite car, go anywhere car, and I can't spend 4 months without it. It just can't sit. I have to drive it. I'm addicted to that V10 noise, and it's so comfortable for long journeys. Anyway, the E60 chassis, it's very well protected from the factory against rust. It doesn't have any general issues with the rust, unlike E39 or E46, but still we can additionally protect it with cable grease, Silfet from Liqui Moly. This is essentially cavity wax, looks like that. And once you apply this, it's gonna set and it's going to displace water. So when you're driving in winter on salty roads, the salt can't penetrate the metal and it's going to protect the chassis. Last winter I applied fluid film, which is a very similar product to this, only this one lasts a bit longer, and it protected the chassis wonderfully. As you can see, no rust anywhere, and I did drive it through the entire winter on very salty roads. Ideally, what you want to do is take a pressure washer, clean the entire underbody, let it dry, and then apply this stuff. I'm unfortunately unable to clean the car here with a pressure washer, so I'm just gonna go spritz this everywhere. But this is something you should do before every winter starts. Apply this, it's gonna be good throughout the winter, then spring come, you can wash the car, get this crap frankly off, and you know, this is the best way, in my opinion, to protect the car against rusting. Because I plan to use this car as long as I'm alive. I wanna get it to 500,000 at least with the original engine. That's my goal. Protecting my beautiful M5. See all these small screws that like to rust? Just spritz a little bit of this on there. Okay, that'll do it. Wheel hub paste only on the lip of the wheel hub. These are the original winter wheels for E60 M5, style 184M. I picked them up last winter, really cheap, they're in pretty good condition. And now I put brand new Michelin Pilot Alpine 5 winter tires and brand new tire pressure sensors. 245, 45, 18 all around. And with that, the 520D mode is engaged because it looks like a base 5 Series with these rims. Gotta replace the wiper blades. These are SWF blades, and these lasted about 3 years now, which is not a bad run. So I'm gonna go with the same, because with Bosch, I'm getting like 6 months. These last longer. Winter windshield washing fluid from Liqui Moly, pre-mixed for your pleasure. All right, and now I gotta run. I'll see you on Monday, which for you is going to be in 1 second. Estoy back. I've done nearly 2,000 kilometers with the car, and the PS pump is perfect. It's never been this quiet. Even when I do a full lock, left or right, it's no longer making that screeching noise, so that issue is solved. Other than that, I had to replace front O2 sensors. I didn't film that because reasons, but it was occasionally throwing a code for that. And since they have over 250,000 kilometers, I had to replace them. And now we're gonna jump underneath of the hood because we need to do a bit of work there. Actually, we gotta do one beautiful upgrade. And yes, that is Misha in the X5. He has some sort of meeting over there. He's going to be using the X5 as his winter beater this winter. We need the service position, L stick.
Upgrade.
Yes. Man. You've probably noticed by now that the badges are missing here. What's happening here, these are microfiber intake plenum. The top part of this box, it's microfiber, and then it's finished in this OE look here. And since microfiber is flexing far too much compared to the stock plenums, this goes up and down with the revs, and that force is snapping and cracking off these badges. And this is actually the second set of these badges that snapped off and disappeared in the engine bay. On top of that, you can see a ton of hairline cracks. Unfortunately, this finish can't withstand the force, the vibrations and resonance that the microfiber plenums are making. So we're going to remove these plenums and upgrade them with ones from Eventuri that are a complete microfiber plenum, not just the top part, but the bottom one as well. I'm going to use a bit of PTFE spray on the rods. No more squeaking noise. This is a dry lubricant, so you won't attract dirt. Look at that. We have ourselves an unboxing video now. So this beautiful box came from the UK, from Eventuri and Evolve Automotive, and it contains their latest design, development. Would you look at that? Complete microfiber intake plenums. Top and bottom. Man. Don't drop it. S85 carbon plenum. Oh, we have clamps here as well. So for the M3, I went with a matte finish, but for the S85, they still don't have that finish. They only have glossy carbon. But man, this does look freaking fantastic. Now we need to transfer over the rubber boots onto the new plenums, and you have to transfer them exactly like this, otherwise we won't be able to get to the screws to undo the clamps. Clean it first. Yep. Like that. I actually have the notches here on the boots where they need to go. So on the new plenums you also have protrusions here, 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 and here, how you need to orient and install the boot. New clamps. First plug in this vacuum line here. God, I love working on this engine. Is it weird that I really want to rebuild this engine? I need to buy another one. I know what you're thinking. The engine bay is really dirty. And while that is true, I really don't have the time to wash it. And even when I do, it just gets instantly dirty because I use this car pretty much every day. I gotta say, the fitment, the design, the quality of this product, top class. Really is top notch. And I'm not saying that lightly. I am a very, very picky person when it comes to this. And this is an aftermarket plenum, and you would think you would have to have some compromises regarding fitment and whatnot. No, absolutely not. It fits 100% exactly the same as the original one. Beautiful, beautiful design. Gotta remove this insulation sound deadening thing. It's falling apart, it looks nasty, and I want even more intake sound. Hey, they didn't paint that from the factory. Really? You saved a bit of paint there? Man, that looks really ugly now. Might need to buy new sound insulation. That sucks. Why would they not paint that? Okay, now that we have these nice shiny intake plenums, I gotta do a bit of cleaning even though I don't want to. That's a bit better. Quick and dirty detailing of the engine bay. Used Geon all-purpose cleaner and Geon preserve for the plastic. Looks nice. Using this as a template to position the badge. So for the M badge, I'm using the old one that I have lying around for now because the new one didn't arrive yet. And I put a double layer of sticky tape on the back, and this will hopefully absorb vibrations a bit better and not snap off. Let's start it, warm it up, and see what it sounds like.
Direction fully achieved. The V10 orchestra. My God, it sounds good.
I've been driving around and the intake noise is just biblical. There's even more of it. Like, listen to this. I'm doing 40 now. That's 60. I'm not breaking the speed limit. And I can hear the induction noise from the front of the engine. Okay, now we're gonna do some flybys and a bit of driving on the Autobahn. You know, it's mandatory with this car. And that's 240. We are limited by the winter tires to 240. Okay, downshifts. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. Hand to my heart, this is the best M engine ever made. Best engine, maybe even the best engine ever made, period. Getting traction control at 240. That ain't good. All you want to do in this car, go full throttle, rev match, downshift, heel and toe. It's just beautiful. What's that slight rattling noise that's driving me nuts? Huh. iDrive button is rattling. Sabine Schmitz once said, I don't know, M5, it's my home, it's my living room. I can totally relate to that. God, I love the M5s, particularly this one. I can never ever get tired of this car. If I could pick one car for the rest of my life, I'm sitting in it. I adore this car. I've said that a million times, but I really do. What a masterpiece of a car. Don't need music, don't need radio. All I need is that V10 singing all day long. Listen to that perfect downshifter rev match. Ugh. That's me doing it, not a computer. And this is why the 6-speed is glorious. And I believe Eventuri is going to send me their air intakes to replace the stock air filter boxes. And with that, I'm gonna have even more sound. That's, I'm gonna be overwhelmed. The traction control is going crazy. In this car is so freaking easy. Everything about this car is phenomenal. It can do everything. You can have fun on the back roads, and then you can do 330 on the Autobahn. Robert from Heel and Toe blog actually did 340 kilometers per hour with this car, according to Tahoe. He went past 330. Before I bought Project Raliegh, I've never driven the E60 M5. I never sat in it. And then it landed in my yard broken, and I gave it a couple of revs, and when I heard the exhaust, I said I'm never selling this car. And that's absolutely true to this day. I'm never ever going to sell this car, no matter what. The way it sounds around 8,000 RPM. Super easy heel and toe, something I'm struggling with in the E46. Today is Sunday, and I'm thoroughly enjoying myself in this car. I woke up this morning tired, half asleep. By golly, I am wide awake now. We just went past 264,000 kilometers. So here's the problem. Clutch in. It will not budge out of the second gear at all. It is stuck, and it's not the clutch, because I can slip the clutch and move the car, but it will not pop out of the gear. And I think something is messed up in the transmission, so let's bring it inside, and then we're gonna attempt a couple of things to try and fix it. The battery might be dead. Let's see. Yep, the battery is dead. Hydraulic lifters are a bit ticky because it's been sitting. But it sounds good, so muscly. I shall slip the clutch and get the car in. I ain't gonna push it, that's for sure. Actually, how the did I start it now? How did it not move? I started the car while it's in the gear. Oh, this is weird. I totally spaced out, and I let go of the clutch and the car didn't move, which is not what happened last time. Did I get it out of the gear? Oh, something's happening. Okay, I guess we don't have clutch. Oh no, we do. Ha! Okay, if I move the gear lever by like 2 millimeters, it's in gear. Then if I move it a bit to the front, yeah, then it's not in the gear. That is so strange. So if I move it couple of mils to the back, we have a clutch. That's very convenient. Who needs a first gear, huh? I did a bit of research, and it turns out this can happen on the M5s and 540i's because it's pretty much the same transmission. It suddenly gets stuck in gear, and I found one post on M5 board, And the guy fixed it by replacing some small ball bearings and sleeves and pins for the arrestor mechanism, something that controls the shifting mechanism inside of the transmission. They are on the side of the transmission, a bit to the top, I believe. So now we're gonna pull the cover off and see if I can access them without removing the transmission, and hopefully that fixes the issue. If not, the transmission needs to come out, and I really, really don't want to do that. Let's first get the under tray off. This is all brand new. I've actually started filming the work on this car because we're going to have an episode in spring. We're going to make this car cosmetically perfect. It's going to be pretty much impossible to show you this, but I am going to post a picture that I found on M5 board. Here near the top, there's a little cover with two 10mm bolts. That cover is covering arrestor balls, which we need to remove and replace them with upgraded sleeves. That's an upgrade from the factory. Apparently these transmissions had shifting issues from the get-go, and customers would complain and dealerships would replace that, and the transmission would work fine. So let's try that, and hopefully that fixes our issue. I'm gonna grab a 10mm. There's a repair procedure for this in the TIS, and it simply says remove the under tray and get to the cover, but the access to this cover is not that great. Okay, I need to remove the crossmember. Oh my God, who torqued this? I should mention that I never had the transmission or the exhaust off of this car in my possession. In Italy, they replaced the clutch and butchered the O2 wiring as well. They used house wires for oxygen sensors. So I just had that replaced completely with the original harness. Yes. That's the cover off. Okay, I'm gonna try and show you this. I don't think I can film this, but maybe you can see that there are 3 springs there. Let's pull them out one by one. Here's one. Whoa! Something came out. I believe this is a sleeve of some sort. So maybe this transmission did have that upgrade. Spring and a sleeve came out. You can see that this transmission does have the upgraded sleeves with the springs. The previous version was springs, and at the end you have the ball bearing that was wearing out prematurely. And this is the kit that I bought from the dealer, and you can see it's the same parts. So that's probably not it, but let's find out. No, sir. It is still very much stuck. By the way, this happened pretty much right after I put E60 545i short shifter lever thing. Now I'm gonna pop in the new arrestor sleeves, spring, and the cover, and then we're gonna move on onto the second possibility. I'm gonna do a bit of cleaning first. So I'm gonna coat the sleeves with transmission fluid and pop them in. That's all 3 in. That's the cover reinstalled and torqued. Okay, now I'm going to remove that locking pin that's located behind the cruise control switch. It's on the left side of the transmission. So I need to disconnect some wires here. Okay. Here it is, that's removed. It's pretty strange wear. Now there should be a spring, a thrust pin. The spring looks a bit mangled. Okay, something is broken here. The spring is broken. Let's see if we can get the locking pin out. The pin does not want to come out. This magnet is actually pretty strong, so I have a sneaky suspicion that locking pin is actually broken and stuck in there. That pin should slide out easily, but it's jammed in there. It's almost out. Using a screw. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, that's broken, man. That is snapped. There's our issue. Now can I get to the remnants of it? Magnet, okay, grab something. Yes, one piece of it is out. Oh, I'm still missing some chunks. Okay, I can't see anything else in there. So maybe it fell into the transmission. First of all, let me jump in again and see if I can finally shift through all of the gears. Oh yeah, yep. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, reverse. The gearbox is fine. Here you can see the culprit and the carnage. This is the gear identification switch, aka cruise control switch, and it too is a little bit damaged. Might need to replace it as well, but behind it lives this spring that snapped, then this thrust pin and this locking pin, which broke, as you can see. I managed to extract this roller bearing thing, but the tabs are still missing. I suspect they are somewhere inside of the transmission. Here's how a new one looks like. So now we're gonna drain the gearbox oil and I'm gonna start fishing around with a magnet and see if I can retrieve those tabs. And this is actually the exact same issue that the guy on M5 board had. He removed the locking pin and it was also broken. Maybe something to do as preventive maintenance. Replace that stupid locking pin before it breaks. Sure gonna practice that on Project Hovde. Okay, let's drain the transmission fluid. I wonder how long ago that locking pin broke off, because I remember about 2 years ago, I had one situation where I couldn't shift into the gear for like 15 seconds. It just wouldn't go in, and then all of a sudden it just went in and that was it. I never had any issues ever again. Wow, up until now. I have a fairly clean drain pan here. So let's see what comes out. If they broke off about 2 years ago, the transmission probably chewed them up, the small tabs. It's not even that glittery. Let me poke around with a magnet. Nothing here. Nothing is coming out. So I suspect this might have broken off a long time ago, but it got jammed just now. So I think the transmission probably smashed those tabs to bits. Okay, well, it is what it is. No tabs. Just gonna fill it up with transmission fluid and off we go. Let me use a camera and look inside of that hole. Yeah, I can't see anything in that hole other than some wear and tear. So yeah, I would say the tabs are long gone. It is what it is. At this point, we can just assemble it and run it. The new locking pin needs to go in horizontal like this in order for this roller bearing to engage with the gears inside. That's in place correctly. And finally, the gear identification switch. Okay. Now I'm going to start filling up the transmission. We are going with 50/50 ATF and MTF mix. This is what I'm running in all my manual cars, and it's working really, really well because ATF allows for smooth shifting when the car is cold, and MTF offers protection, superior protection when pushing the car to the limit. And I know someone is going to say, oh, maybe because you're putting different fluid in transmission, that's why that thing broke. Nope. That is a weak point. I just Googled it again and I found a bunch of threads for the 540i where that same locking pin is snapping with the stock fluid and whatnot. That's the transmission full. Really good news because there are no parts for this transmission when it comes to the synchros and whatnot. Weirdly, you can buy these parts that we just replaced, but nothing for the inside of it. So once the synchros wear out, this transmission is done. You can't fix it, at least not with brand new parts. So I'm gonna clean this up, put the cover back on. I'm gonna warm up the engine, warm up the transmission, drive it around, just make sure everything is okay before I call it fixed. We have reverse. Yes, the mighty E39 is alive again. Feels good in all the gears. The car is nice and warm and all is well in the M5 world. I can easily shift into all of the gears, just draw it up and down and everything feels great. That being said, I don't really like this E60 545i shifter. It's very notchy. The throws are definitely shorter, but it just doesn't feel as nice and smooth as the stock ones. So I'm probably gonna go back to stock. But when it comes to the transmission, fixed. And with that, the M5s are back in business. You are going to see another video on the E39 M5, probably March, April, maybe even May. The front end was just resprayed, so the car is supposed to go to Geon. It's gonna get the front end PPF'd and the rest of the car paint corrected and ceramic coated. My goal is to make it cosmetically as perfect as possible. It's going to look spectacular. And with this one, Project Raliegh, this winter, I'm planning to have it completely repainted. I think it's time. I've been delaying it as much as possible because I just don't care about the condition of the paint. I use the car, I can park it wherever, and I don't stress out about the paint. But I love this car so much, and it looks so ugly with the 58 shades of gray. It's not a good look. We need to repaint it finally. This is space gray paint, space grau, which is a very nice color, but I think we can do better. I want to do something a bit special. Nothing crazy like a complete color change like blue, red or whatever, although I would love to do that as well, but painting the engine bay, the door jambs and all that stuff, not worth it. I need to do some research and see what's possible, and then this car is gonna go for a complete repaint. Other than that, just gonna keep using them, especially this one. And you as well. I can't wait for the spring to come so I can finally use it, because this car I'm not using in winter. It's on seasonal plates, and E39s are prone to rust, unlike the E60. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this quick episode and that you learned something. If you own an M5 or 540i, try to replace that locking pin as part of preventive maintenance. If you're in there, might as well. I certainly would have if I knew about the issue, because it left Ryan and Luke stranded. Okay, I'm gonna go get a haircut now. You have yourself a Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one, which is going to be on Project Frankfurt, the E92 M3. We need to break in the engine, and that's gonna come in January. I'm away now for a couple of weeks, going on a vacation, and then going back home to visit friends and family. So, see ya.